So this is a short tutorial on using your shape tool. When you're looking at your toolbar, the shape tool is the grayed out shapes. Basically, it works by clicking out and dragging your shape, and it will fill with whatever color fill that you have set. So if you right click on your shape tool, you're going to see that there are a number of shapes you can choose from: rectangles, ellipses, triangles, polygons, etc. There's also the custom shape tool that if you click on the custom shape tool, there is a drop down menu up here with a lot of different folders full of custom shapes, leaves, the old legacy shapes you have to load. I can help students do that if you need some help, but these are all very specific custom shapes that you can use. I'm going to stick with some basic shapes here, like you can see that I've done in this template already. So one thing to the shape tool is that you've got the options up here, and your shape tool is going to fill with whatever color is set right here with your fill. The stroke is the outline around the shape as you draw it. So my stroke is set at purple for 1 pixel. A very thin stroke would be this black thin stroke around these gray circles, and a thicker stroke is this red one going around these circles. So as I click and drag out my shape tool, it will fill with whatever color. Here's my properties, which is what you would find right up in your options palette up here at the top as well. So I'm just going to close these properties for now. You can take your move tool and you can reposition your shapes wherever you need them to be. And the shapes that you draw will make their own layers. So if you look in the layers palette down in my lower right here, I've got my template that I've worked on, and then I just drew this green rectangle right above it. I'm going to go back to my template layer here, and I'm going to try another shape. Maybe this time I'll choose the ellipse and a different fill to distinguish it. So now I've got a purple fill right here. Notice my stroke is also purple, and it's set at 1 pixel, which you can see the purple stroke going around this particular green rectangle. If you want to change the thickness, go ahead and use the drop-down menu here. Or if you don't want any stroke at all, you can have no stroke and there won't be a line outlining your shape. So I've got a purple fill. I'm going to go ahead and click and drag out my ellipse. If you guys want to draw a perfect circle, the trick to drawing a perfect circle is actually holding your shift key as you draw, and it will actually draw a perfect circle. So again, I'm using my ellipse, I'm holding my shift key. I'm going to just change my fill so it's a different color to distinguish it. As I hold shift, that's actually drawing a perfectly symmetrical circle, and then I release and it will fill. Now you can change the order of your shapes. So if I click my ellipse 2 and I bring it above, drag it into the position above 1, it is now in front of my first ellipse. And I can take my move tool again and reposition these shapes wherever I need them to be. And again, as I click and drag on the layers, I'll reorder these if I need to reorder these shapes. Okay, so as you're drawing all of these shapes, they are going to form their own layer here, and you can group these to organize them. And the way I would do that is I'd go to my very top shape for this particular box that I'm working in, and I choose this folder down at the bottom, and I create a new group. So I can then hold my control key, click on these 3 layers, drag them into the group, and now they're a little bit more manageable because these are the 3 shapes that I want to be in this box right here. I can close the group to kind of streamline my layers palette. I can open the group back up. Let's say I don't want this ellipse. I can take ellipse 1, drag it to the little trash can icon, and it will disappear. Okay. I'm going to undo that by hitting Control Z, and now my ellipse comes back. but you can hit Control Z to undo many shapes. So I like to use these groups to keep these layers under control. You can also flatten your layers too. We can get into that a little bit later. I did flatten all these shapes that you see that I added up here in the top row, and that's why it's just appearing as one layer, because I actually flattened this whole document. So when you're happy with all of your changes, if you do want to flatten your layers, you can go to the layer menu and it will merge all the layers that are visible. That means visible means the eyeball is turned on. And then the flatten image flattens everything down into one layer as well. I don't do that often if I'm still in the middle of working on a document, because I want my layers to remain editable and movable. So again, with the shape tool, let's just check out some of the other options here. Right, you've got your fill, you have your stroke. That's primarily what I use. And then if you look at your layer here, you can also change the opacity of these shapes. You would do that by going here in your layers palette and moving the slider. And then they make your shapes more transparent. Don't forget you want to save every 5 to 10 minutes as you're working. So you're going to go to the File menu. You're going to save if you've already saved initially. But if this is your first save, going to a Save As will let you navigate to the photography shortcut folder. So look in your left sidebar for your desktop. That's where you're going to find your photography shortcut folder. Mine's in a different spot than students. And then I go into my digital art folder, find my name, find my shape folder where I've been storing all my templates, and then I click save. I already had a copy of it in there, so I want to update my changes, so I'm going to click yes in this case, and you can always click OK to maximize compatibility. So those are the basic shape tools.